Hello and welcome. This is an energy forecast from Kerrie O'Connor to you. And this is the energy forecast for June. You might as well call June the Rings of Fire theme, because with the solar eclipse that's coming up on the 10th, but we're going to be feeling that energy throughout the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And the energies that's building up, the summer solstice at the end of the month, there's just a lot of stuff going on. And I want to remind you, if you've been listening to my stuff, my guides showed me since January that the energy that was building up in the middle of June in particular, it's a line in the road. It's like we are collectively and individually standing in a doorway. And this is really, really exciting when you're working with the energies. And if you're not, it could feel a little intense. That's the Ring of Fire. And we want to help you to remember I want to back up a little bit. So when the elders were showing me the templates, so when I read what's going on for humanity, so I know that's going to be affecting all of us individually and collectively, this theme of the energy building up. We are getting so many upgrades to our body temples, our physical bodies. And that also includes the rest of our energy field. Our physical body is part of the energy field. It's the densest part, but we're going down to making major upgrades with that. We're rising in vibration. This is what we came down here to do. We came down here to zip up into a physical body temple to evolve within this body. So there's a lot of energy over the last couple of years to do the inward journey. We're talking about getting in balance with everything with the pandemic and everything that's going on. There's a real push for us to look into our life. We're the four major corners in our life: home, career, personal relationships, money, home and family, how you see yourself, to find yourself, really to get back into balance with that, to get back into nature, all of that. And so when I was looking at the energy trajectory till June, I noticed such a line of demarcation. And I saw this last year on Memorial Day, and they compared it to the biblical things of Noah's Ark, and that was the weekend where George Floyd was murdered, and then the fallout after that. And so this time, I'm seeing it not this weekend, but the memorial, but this energy coming up. And I don't go to look to see if there's eclipses or whatever. I just look at energetically at a calendar and get a date. And so right now, here we are in the beginning of the week of June, where we're building up into this intensity. And when they showed me this line, it's like X marks the spot. So bottom line, and I've been saying this for the last 2 years on any of my recordings, we have gotten to the state where doing any kind of energy maintenance is now mandatory. My guide said this to me when I was a little girl, that there'll be a time in our lifetimes where it's going to be mandatory for us to do this, just like we brush our teeth, we wash our hair, we take showers. This is we've entered that state. We already have, because we're becoming much more sensitive. And there's all different energy techniques to go out there and do it. Going outside with nature, anything that gives you passion, singing, dancing, drawing, praying, drum circles, whatever makes you get excited. That's how you're plugging in and nurturing yourself. Because as we are getting these upgrades, our body is also doing a lot of detoxing. So many people are feeling detox symptoms, headaches, anxiety, heart palpitations. I saw this major flip of the heart last week. It was last Wednesday, and it was so cool. Wednesday morning, I was doing my regular tuning in, getting ready for the day thing, and looking at the grids, excuse me. And then Wednesday night, I had the intuitive class. And in the 8 or 7 hours between that, I saw a major shift that ripples through all of humanity. So when I see something in a certain trajectory that I know it has this ripple effect throughout humanity, I know it's going to affect all of us in one way or another. And even those people that are so into the matrix and so plugged into duality, there's no way that they're not going to feel it. And so what did I say? I saw the heart energy. So the thymus is known as the high heart. The high heart energy is where we have access to love, unconditional love, a love that we're just at the beginning of remembering and reawakening to what that looks like, smells like, feels like, and to start integrating it into our body, temples, and to be able to bring that right in through in our body and throughout our whole field, flooding our field. And as we're doing this, they showed me this major flip, right? And again, I'm going to keep this real simple. It looked like a backpack that we've been carrying around. So imagine a regular backpack behind your back. Been carrying around this forever. And I've been watching this part of the body's transmute and evolve for a really long time. It's really exciting. Now, all of a sudden, though, I'm doing air quotes here, the backpack was in front of us. It's like, so imagine flipping the backpack around. Now it's in front of us. This is when a lot of people were feeling breathed, heavy of breath, issues with heart, lung, those kind of things, physical symptoms of that. And there was the straps look like symbolic fallopian tubes. And so all this might kind of sound weird, but the way I read it, what's stored inside that backpack is where we consolidated all our hope, grief, pain, dreams that did not get manifested. Life is struggling, life that we're disconnected from source, all these distorted views that keep us out of directly having access to the fifth dimensional and beyond, to heaven and beyond. So this was so exciting that we came in and it's coming to the forefront, because that to me is that we have the ability to transmute it. And as I said earlier, we are getting upgrades, and these upgrade energies are allowing us to, looks like they're turning on levers into our DNA, turning off aging, disease, all of those at an accelerated rate, especially when you're working with it, right? And we want to remind ourselves that it's never too late to start working with it. And that we came here and you are exactly at the right age and stage to be able to work with this. And we literally lined up here to be experiencing this phase that we're going through right now. So June, the real ring of fire. And we want to think of that fire as creative force. It's life force, your own creation, your passion, your excitement. And as we learn to go through the ring of fire and not get stuck, so we're sitting there getting burned or we're in a holding pattern, we're able to transmute stuff. When I was studying shamanism, if we were working on healing, if you wanted to bring an element to help transmute it the fastest, because that was appropriate, you'd work the energy of fire, right? So here, throughout June, this energy is going to continue to increase. This intensity, this solar eclipse energy, that eclipse means accelerates everything, of us to be able to really start being the angels having the angels having the human experience, fifth dimensional beings, holding the energy signature in our physical body, radiating it from the inside out, expanding your angel wings, whatever you want to say. It looks all the same to me. And the energy and support system that we have for ourselves now is miraculous. And I want to say this again and again and again and again. Doesn't mean we won't have our bad hair days, as I say it, and that we're crawling out of our skin, because we are literally getting used to being comfortable in our own skin. It looks like our skin is becoming more flexible and more breathable. Throughout my last talks, I was talking about the cosmos, universal, higher frequency energy, cosmic amniotic fluid that allows us to have that lubricant so we can rotate out of lower patterns. And if you want to keep it simple, think lower energy means dis-ease. It keeps us in a holding pattern so we don't create as the masters that we are. When we start open up these pathways and start developing a taste for it and start pulling it in and start working with it, then our whole life changes. It's an absolute game changer, and that's where we're at the beginning of. And throughout the rest of June, as this energy keeps on getting intense and more intense and more intense, the backpack in front of the chest, the high heart energy looks like it's dropping down into the heart chakra. So it's going to give us more of that heart support. It's like love is in the air. We're learning how to become fluent with this word called love. But it's a different kind of love than most 99% of us are charged into. And I also saw marriage contracts and relationship contracts getting ripped up last June. And so from last June to this June, we're changing our relationships, our primary relationships. When I saw those getting ripped up, I've been watching this pattern going on for 30 years. When it was, the ripping just means this energy pattern has entered the third dimension. It's going to be affecting people's relationships, right? Go over a lot of people that have had experience of COVID and they've had isolation. They're either looking at relationships or they're getting divorced, right? With these energies that are going to be rolling out from now with the new energy marriage codes, new relationship codes. And this doesn't matter if you're single or if you're in a committed relationship or somewhere in between. We are having access. We are reaching up and devouring, I don't like the word devour, tasting. Our palate is becoming awakened to what these energy codes look like, smell like, taste like. And when we start bringing them in and working with them, it changes relationships. And we're also going to be getting to know what's in these contracts. What does it mean? I'm going to go in depth with that. I'm doing a whole class on the twin flame relationship, the upgrades, because it's just so exciting. And I've lost count of how many women in particular, but there's guys there too, that they've kind of put off relationship. They could be anywhere between early 40s to later 50s, 60s, 70s. And like, I'm done with relationship. I have a full life. I'm happy with my dog, my kids, my grandchildren, blah, blah, blah. And, but whether they realized it or not, consciously or unconsciously, they were waiting for this new energy to come in. And sometimes they got really frustrated because they intuitively, innately knew that these new energy patterns were coming down in partnerships, but they didn't know how to pull them in or make them go into the holding pattern of going into relationships that crash and burn and all of this stuff. So this is going to be very cool when it comes to relationships, but I'm going to give more details in that when I go over the classes, which are going to be separate little video clips. So the ring of fire, going back to the thymus, the high heart, going into the heart energy, it's giving us easier access to the quantum heart, the sacred heart. That's the place where it's literally in a pathway within our energy field, that when we open up these pathways and start strengthening them and anchoring them in, we navigate through life very differently. It really is about being in this world and not of it. Being able to walk through a bunch of chaos and you could observe it, but you hold that neutrality state and you don't get any of the charge on you. And this is the stage that we are absolutely entering. It's going to continue to get stronger and stronger and stronger. As I've said for the last 2 years, that the way the elders are saying the keys to stay balanced is in that neutral state. That neutral state allows us to open up the templates, our original blueprints that have us go in the now and to be in the now. And when we're living in the now, we tap into our creator energy and we have that passion and creation flowing through us. We're learning how to manifest totally different. We've done it in one way. I was going to say totally backwards, but that's served us our purpose. We did it in a very yang way. Now we're coming around. And I've been saying this to many, many teachers around the world, that the way I saw the energy of creation, and I don't care if it's a relationship, I don't care if it's a big $1 billion company and or partnership or creating a baby, that the rules, and I'm doing air quotes here, are changing. These are not my rules. They're universal rules. They've been under construction for eons and eons. Now we're getting to the nitty gritty where the rules have rolled out in the 3D. Whenever I see that, that means they've made their way down. So now it's affecting all of us, and it's going to continue to affect everybody. Money, our relationship with money. Again, we talk about marriage and the relationship energies that's coming in, how we see ourselves, how we define ourselves. So this June energy is kicking off where I just saw the rings of fire, like you'd see the Olympics, right? Where they have those rings. And it looks very, very old and ancient. So there's a theme of bridging time. I keep on seeing the rainbow bridges, and I talk about that consistently. And I know it's Gay Pride Month, so happy Pride, happy Gay Pride Month. But this is more of the rainbow bridges have been prophesized by different indigenous tribes for a very long time. They said this is a time in your history where each color of the rainbow brings you to a different dimension, a different ray. It starts with breaking us out of the matrix. And then when we start navigating and start bringing that energy through us and down to us, and it's our whole energy body start looking like a rainbow river of light, a stream of light, then we are navigating and working with life very differently. And that's what we came down here to do. We're going back to the ancient times, going back to see the lights of fire that look ancient. There's a continuous theme of the ancient. It's like timelines of ancient times where we were very evolved, where we knew where we came from. Lemurian Atlantean times, the temple times, all those things are imprints in our energy body. They're literally imprints on the earth. They're, especially Atlantean and Lemurian times, is as real can be. There's going to be discoveries of that over the next couple of years, which is going to be very exciting. But this is where, so it's imprinted in us, in our energetic history, where we had access, where our blueprints, I call them our original blueprints, our templates, have been open to this. So we are getting these upgrades so we can open and bring this energy in and weave it through. It's all about the weaving these rays that have an energy code, and it's connected to a different part of our energy field. And so it allows you to do your heart signature, guys. I've been speaking of heart signature for eons, or the guides have talked to me about that. And encoded in each of us, excuse me, is our heart signature. And encoded in that is what we want in a relationship, how we deal with money, how we see the world, how we see and define ourselves, what's our talents, what's our gifts, what is it in partnership, children, all of that. It's literally looks like codes. I call them the God codes within our body. Well, those energies, when we are having the extra help with the thymus dropping down and anchoring into that heart center, and those rings of fire open up, transmuting anything that has to do with holding patterns, pain, suffering, sacrifice, all those things. Start working with that fire as a transmuter, but also as a symbol of that creator energy to activate the creator within and throughout. And I want to say that again, to activate the creator within and throughout. We're given what looks like last week. This is another fresh off the press change. It looks like everyone was handed these great big pens that had all different inks that kind of followed the colors of the rainbow. Now I just saw flame writers, right? And I know in some history they used to talk about the flame writers. It's ancient healing. But these pens that I'm seeing, the guides are giving us, all of us, that we write in real time, and it gives us this fire energy. It looks like flames are going through the pen, but when it goes to the paper, it has a vibration, and it really brings an extra magnitude to create faster and faster. So a lot of things are going on. And again, I hear a drum roll. This has been under construction for eons and eons. We're going to continue to unfold with this energy. This throughout this June and throughout this summer really is a line of demarcation where things are going to be speeding up faster and faster and faster. And that this is good. We have more access to be able to bring this energy in our body, run throughout it, get to know yourself as an energetic being, and be able to work with the shifts in our grand evolutionary time right now. That's so exciting versus working against it. And if you have those human hair days, or you're going through experiences that just keep on, knocking you down, or fears in the air and you're just breathing it in, learn how to rebreathe or exhale and clear that out, because there's new air in the energy too. So throughout June, the rings of fire, it's about the ancient bridging to the new. And there's this beautiful communication that's going back, the real ancient. And then even going back to when I hit upon the love, twin flame relationships. A lot of people have been talking about twin flames forever. First it started with soulmates, then twin flames. Now I don't even want the word twin flame. We evolved beyond that, because each of it has a charge and it can lead to specialness or whatever. But the good news, I'll say more about this in my little talk about the relationship class I'm going to do. This is my prediction, mark my words, and I'm very accurate, by the way. Not ego. It's just the way it is. I see the divorce rate going way down. As we see ourselves, and this goes to everything, and really anchor into our body as multidimensional beings having a human experience, the angels having the human experience, and we can navigate beyond the matrix. We're writing a script of our life. If we don't like what we wrote in or what we're experiencing it, we turn it around, transmute it, and write anew. Then we have access to the innate knowledge that is woven within our energy field, the ancient knowledge that is bridged to the new knowledge, because everything is in the now and new. When you get out of 3D, there's no time. And so that bridging creates these pathways that go full circle, go right back to us. So we are here. And I remember, 2.5 years ago when I was doing the God Codes class, they said the first universal law that we're awakening to and digesting and anchoring is all is one. And they kept on emphasizing that over and over again. All is one, all is one, all is one, right? And the guides, elders said, you guys get all is one and really anchor that in. Then they closed a book and they said, that's all you wrote. If you really understand that at a cellular level, there could be no more war. There could be no more dis-ease because we won't be fighting against each other. There'd be that creative energy. So we are moving on to a new universal law, but it's, let's just say throughout the summer, all is one is rotating where it's underneath our feet. And speaking about underneath our feet, I saw this portals and pathways open up underneath our feet from the middle of June to the end of June, and that energy is coming from the earth, and it's allowing us to ground differently, to really feel that soul-backed energy. A lot of people, especially empaths, are really feeling it right now, and they're feeling really, really wobbly. I know for myself, the last, 2 weeks, I've been really kind of going back to the insomnia state. I've had a lot of people that died suddenly around me, and it's just kind of like this speeding up energy that's going on, that as the energy portals open up to the earth, we can relate to her, our divine mother, in a different way where we're in partnership to evolve. And it's a beautiful thing. So those grids, as they keep on open up, those portals, whatever you want to call them, and they really help nurture our physical body temple. They go right to our bones, our circulatory system. We're getting upgrades in our nervous system, the central nervous system. As we get that, we could also feel fried. We could feel zapped. We could feel, like we've touched an electrical socket. Understanding that that's part of the process as we're transmuting it gives you the awareness that all is well, and that you're creating your own mesa, your own toolbox to be able to go with this energy during this exciting time. Now, I'm starting a couple classes here. The first one I'm starting off was the Lightstream ABE workshop. It's an empowerment A plus B equals C. E, energy awareness. This is for beginners or anybody that needs a refresher class. I did a whole gig with this, so I don't want to go on with that. But that is on June 17th, which is a Thursday from 7 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. 7 to 9 Eastern Standard Time, June 17th. And that is the Energy ABEs. It's an awareness class. It's a beginner or refresher class. I was up late last night, sorry. But I had to get this out. I also have the body tempo class coming up, and I'm just going to give you some names of this. And then the twin flame relationship class that I know the names are going to change. Actually, I wanted to call the partnership class Purple Rain, because when I was writing this out, I kept on seeing Prince come in. And he was, when I look at the love, marriage, relationship things, it looks like purple diamonds coming in. I always hear his name. So, it's going to come. I'll give you the dates and all that in the next video. But I wanted to say that the more of the description will be on June 17th. And that is from 7 to 9. And that is A plus E, awareness in balance equals empowerment, energy awareness. Become the co-creators that you are. And that is June 17th. Also, I'm starting News for the Soul radio show, the first and third Monday of the month. So the next time I'm going to be on News for the Soul is the 21st of June. That's 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And the phone number, it's a call-in show, so you could call and ask questions. So we'll have the phone number on our website or in social media the day I do it. All right. Take those rings of fire, stand into them, and allow them to transmute. And this is exciting times, guys. This is really, really exciting times. And thanks for hanging in. I know I'm a little behind with the taping, but I'm back at it. All right, my friends. God bless.